Part 277. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2761. Chapter 2761. What peace of mind do you have? He still said respectfully, yes. Mr. Palace, is there any problem with this? On the black leather chair, the man's slender eyes were half squinted, with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Even though Gongzili lowered his head, he could still feel that cold gaze lingering on him. Within a few seconds, Suzy felt cold air coming out one after another on his back, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. His whole body seemed to be frozen, and he stood there stiffly, not daring to move. In the past, when he was Xiaodong of the Su family, he would be jealous and afraid when he saw Gongzili. What's more, now that he relies on Gongzili to give him food, his life is not too bad. He was much more afraid of Gongzili than before. Suzy felt like he was almost out of breath. He didn't know why Gongzili paid attention to his signing of Qiao Angzhen. Even the most popular artist in the company, Gongzili has never asked a question. But he took the initiative to ask about Qiao Angzhen. Is it because Qiao Angzhen had plastic surgery to look like Qiao Mian? So, are all the scandals about Gongzili and Qiao Mian true? Recalling all the previous defenses Gongzili had for Qiao Mian, Suzy was almost certain that Gongzili was definitely interested in Qiao Mian. Is it because of this? Gongzili is also interested in Qiao Angzhen now? While Suzy was thinking about these things in confusion, he heard Gongzili's cold voice again. I heard that you plan to support her. Is the fund you applied for with me before applied for her? Suzy came to his senses immediately. He didn't dare to look at Gongzili's eyes. He buried his head very low and replied, yes, Mr. Gong, I think Zhang Xinyu has great potential for development. As long as she is given the right resources, it will definitely become popular. Very potential for development, Gongzili sneered. The next second, when Suzy felt danger, the coffee cup on Miyazawa's table had already hit him. He was shocked, but he didn't dare to hide. The still hot cup of tea and the cup hit his chest, and the white shirt he was wearing was instantly wet. His eyes were filled with fear. Mr. Gong. You're looking for a woman who looks like Qiao Mian to be your artist, and you're going to praise her vigorously. Suzy, what are you worried about? Mr. Gong, I don't have any peace of mind. Suzy was so frightened by Gongzili's hit that his face turned pale, and he hurriedly explained, Zhang Xinyu and Mian. Feeling that the eyes on him suddenly became colder, Suzy changed his words in a panic, no, it's Qiao Mian. They look a bit similar, but I didn't sign Zhang Xinyu because she and Qiao Mian are close. Yes, I just think her appearance is good and she can be popular if she is praised well. I really don't have any other ideas. If Mr. Gong doesn't like her, I can terminate the contract with her immediately. At the critical moment, Suzy naturally would not care about Qiao's peace of mind. If Qiao Angzhen hadn't assured him that she could take down Gongzili, Suzy wouldn't have risked signing her up. Originally, he thought that Gongzili would definitely be interested when he saw Qiao Angzhen now. As long as he had thoughts about Qiao Mian, he will definitely be interested in the current Qiao Angzhen. Although Qiao Angzhen is a low-profile version modeled after Qiao Mian, she does have a slight resemblance to Qiao Mian. Just these 67 points of similarity can accomplish a lot of things. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2762. Chapter 2762. But she is not as good looking as you. But Suzy didn't expect that Gongzili would react like this. He didn't seem to be interested in Qiao Angzhen at all. Suzy was afraid that Qiao Angzhen would hurt himself because of Qiao Angzhen, so he would definitely cut off the relationship with Qiao Angzhen at the critical moment. Suzy waited in fear for a while, but before Gong Zi could say anything, he was a little curious and couldn't help but boldly looked up. The handsome man sitting on the black leather chair seemed to be lost in thought, and didn't seem to hear what he was saying. Suzy was afraid of losing everything he had now, so he decided not to care about Jiao Angzhen's life or death, and anxiously cleared the air again. Mr. Gong, Zhang Xinyu and I didn't know each other before. Someone introduced her to me. In fact, I didn't want to sign her, but she cried and told me that she really wanted to get into this industry and begged me to give her a chance. I admit, I was reluctant to sign because she looked similar to Jiao Mian. The next one. I am ready to support her because she is like Jiao Mian. When he felt that cold gaze falling on him again, Suzy struggled to speak under pressure. After all, Jiao Mian and I have known each other for so many years. Looking at her face, I really couldn't bear to refuse. They look alike. After a moment, Gong Zili finally spoke up. But he asked a question that surprised Suzy. Suzy was stunned for a moment, and immediately replied, "Yes, I thought Mr. Gong had already seen her photo. She and Jiao Mian, I think they are at least 69 similar." 6 points, Gong Zili's tone was a little strange. Suzy was stunned again, raised his head and glanced at him. After thinking about what he just said, he replied, "Yes, their eyes are very similar, and their noses are also very similar. When I first met Zhang Xinyu, thought she was Jiao Mian." After hearing his words, Gong Zili fell into an eerie silence again. After a while, "Okay, you go out." To Suzy, these words were like pardoning his death penalty. He let out a long breath and stretched out his hand to wipe the dense cold sweat on his forehead. "Yes, Mr. Palace, I'll go out first." After saying that, he didn't dare to stay for a moment, turned around and walked out of the president's office quickly. Asterisk. After Suzy left, Gong Zili searched for Zhang Xinyu's photos. Looking at the woman in the photo who looked very similar to Jiao Mian, his gaze lingered for a long time on the woman's dark eyes that were almost exactly the same as Jiao Mian. He pursed his lips, and the narrow phoenix eyes shimmered with light. He didn't expect that Zhang Xinyu was even more like Jiao Mian than Susu. Her eyes are so similar to Jiao Mian's. It looks like, even the mole under the corner of the eye is the same. Asterisk. Jiao Mian waited until after the exhibition, and the two of them went to the hotel to sign in together. The two of them took the program team's bus there. On the way, Zhanbo came close to her and whispered, "Jiao Mian, do you know that a newcomer who looks very similar to you is also coming to participate in this show? She now has the title of Little Jiao Mian. I heard that this young newcomer has a strong background. The show has already started, and she can replace Hizzy. I used my trumpet to watch her live broadcast, and she does look a bit like you, but she's not as good looking as you, and your facial features are much more refined than hers." Because there were cameras and mobile phones pointed at them all the time, the two of them had to talk in private when they talked about some topics that were not convenient to talk about publicly. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2763. Chapter 2763. What a good temper. I know Jiao Mian also lowered her voice. Do you think she can be better than me no matter how strong her background is? Zhanbo. This is certainly not strong enough. Who doesn't know who the person with the most background and the most awesome background is in the entertainment industry right now? If Jiao Mian is ranked second, no one will dare to be ranked first. Not only is her mother-in-law awesome, she has a husband who is even more awesome. Compared with other so-called female artists with powerful financial backers, they are not enough to mention. Those financial backers of female artists are not even qualified to carry shoes for Chiao Mianmian's husband. Zhanbo, of course it's you. You are MRSMO who in our circle can be more awesome than you. Chiao Mianmian, that's okay. No matter how powerful her background is, she can't compare to me. Besides, it's her company's business to praise her as much as she wants. As long as it doesn't affect me, I don't care. Zhanbo suddenly felt a little speechless. Sister, you must be too big-hearted. With a face that looks so similar to yours, how can it not affect you if she appears on the same show as you? Don't you feel offended? Anyway, if it were him, he would definitely feel uncomfortable. It's obvious that he's just here to rub off on Chiao Mianmian's popularity. Although there were often some female artists he had collaborated with in the past to try to gain popularity with him, at least they were not as blatant as this Zhang Xinyu, who didn't even hide it. Such behavior would be offensive to anyone. He felt that Chiao Mianmian was really good-tempered. I didn't even see her even a little angry. Perhaps it's people who live a perfect and happy life, and their tolerance is much higher than that of ordinary people. Because life is too perfect, so perfect that there is nothing missing, so I don't bother to worry about it. He cannot realize this height now. But he hopes he can feel it one day. Are you worried? Zhanbo is one of Chiao Mianmian's few friends in this circle, so she is very calm in front of Zhanbo and doesn't hide anything. To be honest, there is a little bit of resistance. But now I still don't know what kind of person the other person is, but maybe we can actually get along well with him. Zhanbo's mouth twitched. Okay, you, the rightful owner, don't mind. What can we outsiders say? But I can guarantee that this woman is not simple. Just wait and see. Asterisk. Chiao Mianmian and Zhanbo arrived at the hotel. As soon as they got off the car, they met Qin Han, who had also come to report. Several people are acquaintances, and I haven't seen it for a while. It is natural to meet again. Brother Han, I didn't expect you to come to a variety show. Zhanbo smiled and stepped forward to hook Qin Han's shoulders. I'm really curious, how did the program team convince you? Qin Han is a movie star. Let alone variety shows, he almost never accepts TV dramas. In recent years, I took on a drama by Bai Yisheng last year. And this is based on the fact that he and Bai Yisheng have a very good relationship. If it were someone else who invited him, he probably wouldn't be able to do it no matter how much money he paid. So it is indeed rare for a super movie star like Qin Han to participate in a variety show. Qin Han curled his lips and said straightforwardly, no one has trouble with money. Of course, plus I heard that you and Mian will also come to participate in this episode, so I thought maybe I could give it a try. One time. Just think of it as giving yourself a holiday. I heard that this program is not difficult even if you are raising children. Chiao Mian. Zhanbo. Both of them wanted to say, brother, have you made a mistake? Why are you so naive? How can raising a baby be easy? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2764. Chapter 2764 Leng Bang Bang rejected others. Asterisk. After signing in, and seeing that it was almost noon, Qin Han proposed, let's have lunch together, I'll treat you. Chiao Mian and Zhanbo were not polite at all. They both nodded at the same time, okay. Zhanbo is even thicker-skinned. He even opened the food app on his mobile phone and started searching for the most expensive and delicious restaurant in City C. Brother Han, you see this restaurant has very good reviews, how about we eat at this one? Zhanbo quickly found a high-end French restaurant with a per capita of over 10,000 yuan, and he would not be lenient at all when it came to killing Qin Han. Qin Han symbolically glanced at his mobile phone, okay, let's go to this one. Is it far from here? It's not far, It only takes about 10 minutes to get there by taxi. Zanbo already knew the route clearly. As a foodie, he naturally had to understand all aspects thoroughly. Chin Han nodded, then let's take a taxi there now. It was time to get off work and have lunch at noon. Taking a taxi was not that easy. The group of people stood on the street for almost 10 minutes before finally hailing a car. A few people were about to get in the car when they heard a woman's voice coming from behind. "Seniors, are you going to have lunch? Can you take me with you? I just came here and I'm not familiar with it at all. I don't know which restaurant has better food, so can I go with you?" Together with the seniors, Chiao Mian and the others who were about to get in the car were stunned. After several people turned around and saw who the woman standing behind them was, Chin Han didn't show anything on his face, while Zhanbo and Chiao Mian both had expressions of surprise on their faces. Zanbo looked at Zhang Xinyu, who was standing opposite them with a sweet smile, and then at Chiao Mian. After a detailed comparison, he felt that Chiao Mian was much more beautiful. No, it should be said that Chiao Mian's appearance completely surpasses Zhang Xinyu's. Zhang Xinyu looks very similar to Chiao Mian in the live broadcast room. But in reality, it doesn't look like that to me. And Zhanbo could tell at a glance that Zhang Xinyu had undergone plastic surgery. Although she looks quite natural. But what has been done is what has been done. It may not be obvious in the camera with makeup on, but it can definitely be seen face to face. Thinking that Zhang Xinyu might have been modeled after Chiao Mian, Zhanbo felt a little unhappy about this newcomer whom he met for the first time. Just follow other people's rules and forget it? But he still takes advantage of people's popularity and shamelessly participates in the same program as the main host. This kind of saucy behavior is intolerable. So before Chiao Mian and Chin Han could say anything, even though there were cameras filming them, Zhanbo still said rudely, "Sorry, I'm afraid not. We have private matters to discuss, and there are people we don't know well. I'm just afraid it's inconvenient. Besides, this is our first time in Sea City, and we are not familiar with it. If you want to know which restaurant is delicious, just ask a local." What a joke. Let this low-end version of Chiao Mian eat with them. Even if Chiao Mian doesn't mind. He can be so disturbed that he can't eat. Chiao Mian was still thinking about how to refuse, but before she could think of a suitable and reasonable reason, she heard that Zhanbo had rejected him coldly. Chiao Mian. "Zhanbo, isn't this a bit disrespectful?" The rejection was so straightforward, without any tact. Haven't he forgotten that there is still a camera pointed at them? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2765. Chapter 2765 Beyond Chiao Mian. Obviously, Zhang Xinyu just made an excuse to be with them, and it was definitely not that she really couldn't find a place to eat. Zhang Xinyu probably didn't expect Zanbo to reject her. And he refused, so disrespectful. Chiao Mian couldn't help but glance at Zhang Xinyu. The expression on Zhang Xinyu's face was indeed not very good at this time. She was rejected by Zhanbo without giving any face. She felt a little embarrassed for a while and felt that she couldn't get off the stage. Zhanbo didn't care whether she was embarrassed or not. After finishing speaking, he turned to Chiao Mian and said, Mian, let's go there quickly. That store has a limited time at noon. If you go there late, you won't have enough time to eat. Chiao Mian. Well, since Zhanbo looked indifferent, there was no need for her to be polite to Zhang Xinyu. She herself didn't really want to deal with Zhang Xinyu. After all, she felt uncomfortable getting along with someone who had plastic surgery done after her. Okay, let's go there quickly. Chiao Mian nodded. Brother Han, let's go. Zhanbo put a hand on Chin Han's shoulder. Except for a few words with Zhang Xinyu at the beginning, he never spoke to Zhang Xinyu again. Miss Zhang, Let's take the first step as a well-known role model in the circle. Even though Qin Han didn't really like Zhang Xinyu, he still managed to do the basics of saving face. Qiao Angzhen's heart was full of fire and she was extremely angry. She didn't expect that Zhan Bo would be so disrespectful to her. She really wanted to break into the trio of Qiao Mian and Zhan Bo using the excuse of not being able to find a place to eat. Qin Han is the most expensive super celebrity today and is recognized as the best brother among the younger generation of artists in this circle. In terms of Zanbo's status in the entertainment industry, although he is not as powerful as Qin Han, he is still one of the most popular celebrities nowadays. No matter who she can establish a relationship with and become friends with these two people, it will be very beneficial to her in the future. Since she chose to enter the entertainment industry again, she naturally has some ambitions. Her ambition is to surpass Qiao Mian. She also wants to make everything Qiao Mian her own. For this goal, she can give everything. And quickly breaking into Qiao Mian's circle can also help her achieve her goal faster. Qiao Angzhen thought that they would definitely not reject her. After all, the live broadcast is still going on, and there are still so many netizens watching in the live broadcast room. It would be ungentlemanly to refuse her. And it's easy to be labeled as ostracizing newcomers. So whether it is Zhan Bo or Qin Han, it is impossible for them to refuse her request. Unexpectedly, Zanbo not only rejected her in front of tens of millions of netizens in the live broadcast room, but also said the rejection so rudely and without mercy. Made no secret of his dislike of her. But when he faced Qiao Mian, he had a different attitude. Such a sharp contrast made Qiao Angzhen feel even more embarrassed and angry, as if someone had slapped her face hard. She was holding back a lot of anger, but she couldn't let it out. She must also show that she doesn't mind, doesn't care, and shows her generosity and good temper. Okay, seniors, please go slowly. If there is a chance next time, I will definitely treat these seniors to dinner. Qiao Angzhen took a deep breath and squeezed out a smile from the corners of her stiff lips. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2766. Chapter 2766 is indeed quite green tea. Qin Han nodded to her, then turned around and followed Qiao Mian and the others into the taxi. At this time, the live broadcast has also ended temporarily. The staff in charge of the live broadcast said to the netizens in the live broadcast room, "Hello everyone, this morning's live broadcast ends here. Our guests also need to rest. I will open the live broadcast room again after they have rested. Everyone should go too. It's time for lunch and dinner. Let's watch the live broadcast again after 3 o'clock in the afternoon." After saying that, the staff waved goodbye to the netizens and then closed the live broadcast room. The live broadcast has been turned off, but many netizens are still watching the live broadcast room and have not left. The comment area is constantly filled with new comments. Ha ha ha, did you just see Zhang Xinyu's face turn sour when she was rejected by Zhan Bo? I feel like she was going to be to death. Although Zhan Bo is a bit ungentlemanly, why do I feel so happy to watch it? This Zhang Xinyu is really a green tea bitch. It's not enough to get so much love from Qiao Mian. Do you want to continue to do it? Who does she think she is? He also wants to integrate into Qiao Mian and Zhan Bo's inner circle. My brother is not ungraceful. He is usually a very gentlemanly person. Can't you see that he is venting his anger on Qiao Mian? He must also be disgusted by what Zhang Xinyu did. That's why he did this. Then he rejected her without giving face. I don't think my brother did anything wrong. If it were me, I would vent my anger on my friend like this. Yes, anyone with a discerning eye can see that my brother is venting his anger on his friend. He and Xiao Mian usually have a good relationship. They are all seniors. Is it really okay to bully a newcomer like this? Am I the only one who thinks Zhang Xinyu is quite pitiful? They say she deliberately tries to gain Xiao Mianmian's popularity, but maybe she didn't do it on purpose. Could it be that she looks like Xiao Mian? Are you just riding on her popularity? Then people who look like her all over the country are riding on her popularity. I think Zhang Xinyu is pitiful. Yes, you are the only one. You are electric, you are light, and you are the only one with a mental retard. Some professionals have analyzed that Zhang Xinyu had plastic surgery, and she modeled it on Xiao Mian. She had plastic surgery. She looks like Xiao Mian and comes to participate in the same show as others. This is intentional and disgusting. She is such a pitiful person. I think Zhi is the most pitiable. This kind of woman who relies on her backstage to steal other people's resources is so disgusting. Fortunately, Xiao Angzhen is not watching the live broadcast room at the moment. If she saw so many netizens scolding her in the live broadcast room, she would probably be even more angry and want to vomit blood. After Xiao Mian and his party got in the car, the taxi carrying them drove away quickly. After a few people left, Xiao Angzhen and a few staff members were left standing on the street. The staff looked at Xiao Angzhen's slightly pale face and thought she looked a little pitiful. He kindly suggested, "Miss Zhang, do you want to go to dinner with us? We are also going to have lunch." The staff was actually trying to reassure Xiao that she would not be so embarrassed. But Xiao Angzhen didn't appreciate the favor and refused directly, "No, my friend and I have made an appointment a long time ago." Staff member? Have you made an appointment with your friends? But didn't she just say that she was unfamiliar with the place and couldn't find where to eat? Several staff members who originally felt that she had been humiliated by Zanbo and were a little sympathetic to her suddenly felt that this Zhang Xinyu was indeed quite green tea. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2767. Chapter 2767. Please be more careful. It is estimated that Zanbo saw what kind of person she was early on. Otherwise, how can we do this to a new person? It seems that not only girls have the ability to detect bitches. Boys also have this ability. Asterisk. More than 10 minutes later, Xiao Mian and his party arrived at the reserved restaurant. A few people booked a private room. There are no cameras, so there is no need to worry about a few people talking. Zhanbo, were you too disrespectful to Zhang Xinyu just now? Xiao Mian was a little worried that Zhanbo would be in trouble because of this incident. Actually, even if you reject her, you don't have to be so direct. You can find a more tactful reason. You are too direct and will make people think you are bullying newcomers. To this, Qin Han also nodded in agreement. It can be more tactful. Zhanbo snorted softly from his nose. I think that woman is very thick-skinned. You can't be tactful with people like her, you have to be direct. She must have thought that if she proposed to join us in that situation, we would definitely. I won't refuse her. I just want her to know, don't try to put any wishful thinking on us. Besides, if we really want her to come with us, it will affect her appetite. Xiao Mian, what's the matter with you? I'm just helping you. Take it out, do you still think I did something wrong? Zhanbo glared at her, a little bit resentful. Of course I don't blame you, I'm just afraid that you will attract hackers because of this matter. Xiao Mian has been hacked countless times, and she has psychological shadow over it. Of course, she doesn't want Zanbo to vent his anger on her. He was also targeted by the black man. With Zanbo's current development prospects, I don't know how many rival companies are eyeing him. Must be wishing that he would do something wrong or say something wrong. In this case, they can seize the wrong points and smear them. This kind of thing has happened in the circle. Chiao Mian remembers that there was a very popular young man who was taken down in this way, and that young man was even worse. It was not his own fault, but his fans' fault. Because of the so-called saying that fans pay for their idols, their great future is ruined. Chiao Mian was very afraid that Zanbo would encounter the same thing. "Don't worry, it's so easy to hack me," Zanbo said nonchalantly. "Besides, even if I'm unlucky enough to be hacked and I can't survive in the entertainment industry, the worst outcome would be to go back and take over my family. That old man's billions are worth it. I won't starve to death anyway." Chiao Mian. Chin Han. Why do these words sound so good that people want to beat him? But Chiao Mian knew that Zanbo was really not bragging. His family was indeed quite wealthy. Although it is not as good as the top wealthy families such as the Mo family and the Gong family, it can still be regarded as a wealthy family. Zanbo had a falling out with his family because of his entry into the entertainment industry. But if he really wanted to go back in the future, his family would not let him go back. "But to be honest, Chiao Mian, you should be more careful," Zanbo said earnestly like a worried old woman. "Although we have just met each other, I can feel that Zhang Xinyu is really not simple. A very thoughtful woman. Especially the way she looked at you. You didn't notice it, but I could see it clearly anyway." Chiao Mian couldn't help but be startled. What did she look at me? What look? Zanbo thought about it for a moment. Jealousy. Hatred. It's not a kind look anyway. I've never seen anyone look like that when they meet someone for the first time. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2768. Chapter 2768. You must be careful. Zanbo is right, I noticed it too. Chin Han also recalled the situation at that time, and then said, Mian, the way she looked at you was indeed not very kind. You don't know her. Chiao Mian shook her head. I just wanted to ask you if you have known each other before. Zanbo frowned and said, how could anyone be so malicious to someone they met for the first time? Anyway, Brother Han and I can see that she is nothing. Good luck, you must be careful. I always feel that this woman is going to cause something bad. Chiao Mian listened to Zanbo's kind reminder and remained silent. She didn't pay attention to Zhang Xinyu before. Hence, he didn't notice whether Zhang Xinyu looked at her in a friendly or hostile way. But now that both Zanbo and Chin Han have said so, there will be no lie. So why is Zhang Xinyu hostile to her? Under normal circumstances, even if you don't like someone, you will only dislike them after getting in touch with them. She did not know Zhang Xinyu. There is no need to talk about old grudges. But if there were no old grudges, why would the other party be hostile to her when they met for the first time? Chiao Mian really couldn't figure it out. But she also felt that no matter what kind of person this Zhang Xinyu was, no matter what the other party's purpose was, or whether he would do anything unfavorable to her, before it happened, it would be useless for her to worry too much now. We can only use soldiers to cover up the water and earth. Asterisk. When Chiao Angzhen received a call from Suzy, she was sitting in a high-end restaurant having a meal. She had just eaten a tender steak, sipping red wine, and said in a coquettish voice, "What are you afraid of? The more people scold you, the more popular it will be. Otherwise, can I stay on the hot search? Netizens love if you want to scold me, then let them scold me. It is best if everyone knows that there is a person like me, Zhang Xinyu, then my goal will be achieved. Didn't you tell me that black and red are also a kind of red?" I remember that Chiao Mian was also frequently searched for negative news every 3 days now. I'm just following the same route as her. Before I came on this show, I had already thought that many people would scold me. As long as it can make me trending in searches every day and make me famous quickly, they can scold me as much as they like. Suzy on the other side was silent for a while, and then spoke with a hint of ridicule in his voice. Chiao Angzhen, Your ability to withstand stress is much better now than before. If it were before, you would definitely ask me to find a navy for you right away. Whitewash. The past is the past. Jiao Angzhen took a sip of red wine and narrowed her eyes. The me now is already different from before. Also, didn't I tell you to call me Zhang Xinyu? I am Zhang Xinyu now. Okay, what are you pretending to be in front of me? Suzy said with a bit of disdain. Of course I call you Zhang Xinyu in front of others, but behind the scenes you are still the Jiao Angzhen I knew before. I know what you are worried about. I'm at home alone now, there's no one else around, what are you afraid of? Hearing what he said, Jiao Angzhen suddenly felt uncomfortable. The former Jiao Angzhen was a fool. She changed her appearance and gave herself a new name, just to have a new life. A new life as glorious as Jiao Mianmian's. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2769. Chapter 2769. Does Gong Zili know about me? She didn't want to hear anything about the past at all. Damn it, Suzy, you have to go against her. One day, after she got what she wanted, the first person she dealt with was the scumbag Suzy. She will never forget that her child was killed by Suzy, a scumbag. She also hates Suzy in her heart now. It's just that she still has some use for him. She can't take action against him until her goal is achieved. Even though she has always hated Suzy, she can only endure it now. By the way, I called you today to tell you something else, Suzy continued before she could ask what it was about. Gong Zili knew about your matter and asked me specifically. What is going on? Jiao Angzhen was stunned, and immediately put away the hatred on her face. The hand holding the red wine glass shook violently, and the wine in the glass swayed and almost spilled. She sat up straight and spoke in an excited tone. Does Gong Zili know about me? Well, he knows about you. Then he also knows what I look like. Yes, Suzy paused and said, at first I saw that he seemed very angry, and I thought he would let us leave the Gong family. But then I told him that you and Jiao Mian look very alike. After that, he must be interested in you. That thing you told me before may actually succeed. Jiao Angzhen's heart was pounding. Suzy, are you sure that Gong Zili is really interested in me? I can't be sure, but when I told him that you and Jiao Mian look very similar, I think his expression was different at that time. I heard that Gong Zili found a female college student by his side, and that female college student she looks a bit like Jiao Mian. Jiao Angzhen's heart beat faster and faster. Have you seen that female college student? I met him once. Suzy was silent for a moment. I once went to play at night and saw him getting out of the car with the female college student. Then who do you think is more like Jiao Mian? Between me and that female college student, Jiao Angzhen asked impatiently. You, Suzy said angrily, that female college student looks just like you. After plastic surgery, Jiao Angzhen looks 67% similar to her. After all, she was modeled after Jiao Mian, so the similarity will definitely be higher. Hearing this, Jiao Angzhen raised the corners of her lips proudly. She is just a 3/4 length yellow-haired girl, so she can stay by his side and be his woman. She must have more capital than that yellow-haired girl. As long as she can get a chance to get close to Gong Zili, then she will definitely be able to take down this man. The crown prince of the Gong family is now the most valuable single nobleman in Yunqing. If she can take down Gong Zili, even though the Gong family is a little inferior to the Mo family, she can still be considered to be among the top upper-class circles in Cloud City. If she becomes the young lady of the palace family, she is no worse than Jiao Mian. From now on, she and Jiao Mian belong to the same class, and their status is also the same. At that time, it will be much easier for her to deal with that bitch. Xiao Angzhen was thinking about it, wishing she could go see Gong Zili right away. She couldn't hide her excitement and said, Suzy, I want you to arrange a chance for me to meet Gong Zili. The sooner the better, I want to see him as soon as possible. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2770. Chapter 2770 Waiting for my good news. Xiao Angzhen, of course I can arrange for you to meet. But you also have to promise me something. You say. If you can really become Gong Zili's woman and get his favor, then don't forget that I helped you. One day you will fly on a branch and become a phoenix, and you can't do without my benefits. Of course, we are in the same boat. Xiao Angzhen's voice was smiling, but her eyes were cold. If I can become Gong Zili's woman, I will certainly remember your kindness. If you need anything in the future, wherever I can help, I will definitely help you. This is what we agreed on early on, isn't it? Suzy smiled, obviously very satisfied with her attitude. Yes, this is what we agreed on early on. Xiao Angzhen, we are just grasshoppers on the same rope now. If I am not good, you will not be good either. This time it took me a lot of effort to get you a spot on the show. If you perform well, I will arrange for you to meet Gong Zili when there is a suitable opportunity. Just wait for my good news. After saying that, Suzy hung up the phone. As soon as the call was disconnected, the smile on Xiao Angzhen's lips disappeared. Suzy, do you think I'm still the Xiao Angzhen you used to have at your disposal? I remember clearly how you hurt me in the first place. Just wait for me. I'll take care of all the previous accounts. I'll make it clear to you. And Xiao Mian, you all wait for me, I won't let you go. Asterisk. After Xiao Mian and Jean Bo finished eating, they went back to the hotel to rest. Back at the hotel, Xiao Mian called Mo Yesi. The two chatted for about 10 minutes. After hanging up the phone, she set the alarm clock and took a nap. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, everyone gathered to report, and the recording of the program officially started. Xiao Mian also met Zhang Xinyu again. Zanbo had previously insulted Zhang Xinyu and expressed his dislike for Zhang Xinyu in front of so many netizens in the live broadcast room. It can be said that it is very disrespectful to her. Xiao Mian thought that Zhang Xinyu would ignore them when they met again. At least, I probably won't take the initiative to say hello to them anymore. But unexpectedly, when Zhang Xinyu saw them, she took the initiative to say hello, calling her seniors in a humble and polite manner. Seniors, are you having a good rest? I went to a great Western restaurant today at noon, and the steak there was really great. How did the seniors go to today? Is the food there delicious? Can you tell me about it? Can you recommend the store name to me? She had a sweet smile on her lips and no trace of displeasure on her face, as if the previous events had not affected her at all. And she didn't mind at all. But Zanbo still didn't smile, he still had the same cold and distant attitude, and even his voice was cold and indifferent. It's just an ordinary small restaurant, there is nothing to recommend. Also, you don't need to call me senior anymore, listen. It's quite awkward. Because the live broadcast room was open again at this time, netizens also saw Zhang Xinyu taking the initiative to say hello to Xiao Mian and the others. Of course, I also saw how indifferent Jean Bo was to Xiao Angzhen. I think Zanbo and the others have gone a little too far. They didn't do anything wrong, right? I showed off their faces before, but they still kept calling me seniors and their attitude was pretty good. Now they are still so cold to me. It's not necessary. End of this chapter.